Two enough.
All right, I will endeavor to make it short, but the issues are many. I will start, there are some that are cross-cutting as pointed out in the previous presentation. Then there are some that we feel you might need to take note of as the House. We have issues to do with public health. The district of Wange has become home to a certain resurgence of economic activity, particularly extractivism, over the last 2 years. But this has also come with a correlation in terms of air pollution, a spike in water pollution. We have a problem within our Wange rural areas, particularly the Mashala area along Deka River, Matetsi, where the effluent from the power plant and the mines flow and eventually set in those water bodies. And they are causing a problem with regards to the wildlife. The wildlife, particularly the domestic wildlife, cattle, are developing melanomas from the water. But these are a challenge for us to accurately document. We at times do not have the resources, we do not have the skills, and we lack maybe the network to better network and better spread the news. So we have that challenge with regards to the negative externalities from the extractivism. We also have a challenge, particularly with SRHR, the sudden influence, the sudden spike in population, transient population, stemming from the Chinese, particularly the Chinese mines, has witnessed an erosion of morality. Currently, the Chinese, they have a thing, they've been hiring women over the past few months. And once they hire women, we are told they make offers to women. Hello Maria, you spend time with me, $100. And it is bad because it goes as far as them having to engage a lady, 6, 7 of them, in exchange for these sick monies. But the challenge particularly that we are having with these diseases, some of them are drug resistant, some of them we don't know, some of them are new, some of them are variations we don't know cutting across from the other corner of the planet. So that in turn has also seen a spike in GBV cases, particularly communities that are housing people working particularly in Chinese mines, Chinese energy generating companies. Then we move towards the environment. The resurgence in extractivism in Wange district has disrupted the ecosystem. Animals and wildlife have developed new migration patterns, often sending them closer to human settlements because the water in the national park has become contaminated. The disruption of the noise, often this pushes them towards those living on the periphery, increasing human-wildlife conflict cases. Then we also have the challenge with compliance to the environmental management plans. For instance, there is what once was we call it M block mine. It is along Ward 14, Ward 15, and Ward 8. The mine was never really meant to, while it was working, they had a different model. They would transport their things outward of town. But since the uptake of the Chinese working at the mine, they have instead made economic considerations. They say it is longer for them to travel outward of town, and it is a lot more cheaper for them to use the inner or domestic roads as an effort to cut costs on fuel and diesel. But this now it creates a problem, particularly for people living along the Old Vic Falls Road. For the last 2 years, I know people who've been unable to hang their clothes outside after doing the laundry. Because 2 minutes, dust, 2 minutes, dust, 2 minutes. You wash something white, you come back after 5 minutes, you will find it has a gray color. That is a challenge. We also have the problems to do with the rehabilitation. There is little commitment towards rehabilitation or let alone environmental management. So this has created problems like huge unmaintained dump sites, where you find that tends to attract people that are poaching for slurry that is also being used as a brick molding exercise. But this now also exposes these would-be community members to the death, to possibility of death. I think we've lost something like 3 women over the last 3 years. So it is a challenge. Then we also have issues to do with value chains. We have people in production in Wange, particularly there is a young man who's into brick molding under SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. He is making use of the debris from the mining to mold bricks. But the challenge now is the Chinese do not adhere to responsible sourcing. They are purchasing bricks from as far as Kwekwe when we have bricks in Wange. So how then do we grow is the challenge for us. We also have the glaring presence of an absence of academic support institution. Wange has the most mines per square kilometer versus any other district. But we do not have an institution that teaches our youth on mine development, mining, or even any one of these support opportunities that allow us to better take up positions of influence. 2/3 of the population in Wange currently working in Wange is transient labor. We do not have any people from Wange who can assume as far as management positions. And this primarily stems from the fact that we don't have institutions to teach us. That is a challenge. And this often puts us at odds. I think there's something, there might be 1 or 2 things I would like to have the House take note of, but I'm being told I'm low on time.